Since recording this week's Word in Season, I've discovered it's edition number 52. It's exactly a year of journeying together through these crazy COVID times, discovering our God's faithfulness, love and encouragement. And we wanted to thank you for making that journey with us, and we trust you'll continue on into the future. And now, come to my study for edition 52. Welcome to A Word in Season. On Saturday, I had the great privilege of being part of the Aspire Men's Mental Health Conference, Finding Balance in the Journey. A number of our men came, and to those who did, thank you very much. It was lovely to see you there. Friday night, however, I was in the emergency department of the hospital, sitting in one of those cubicles, in one of those cute little blue gowns with it split up the back. I remember saying, Lord, unless you are real right here, right now, I won't have anything to say to those men tomorrow. Now, it's not easy for me to be aware of his presence in a situation like that, but it's much harder when I've blown it, when I've sinned. I mean, how does God react then? Well, it's actually one of the first things we learn in Scripture. You remember in Genesis 2, God gives them the whole garden to enjoy, but says you mustn't eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, because the day you do that, when you do that, you'll certainly die. And we know they did, and they did. How did they react? Well, they hid. They felt shame. They felt fear, much like I do. How did God react? He came looking for them. In Genesis 3, God's walking in the garden saying, "Where are you?" And I know the Lord is saying all the time to us, "Where are you? Where are you?" I love Mark's version of Jesus calling the 12 disciples because there's a little phrase he drops in that I think is so significant. Mark says, Jesus appointed 12 that they might be with him and that he might send them out. But first, just to be with him. I just want to be with you. Before any sending happens, I want to be with you. At the Last Supper, he says to these ragamuffin disciples, I have passionately desired to have this meal with you before I suffer. And it's hard to convey how strong that word is. He washed their feet, knowing one is betraying him for money, one is about to deny him 3 times, and all of them are about to run away and desert him. After his resurrection, Thomas says, unless I see the nail marks in his hands and put my finger in. And 8 days later, Jesus comes and says, here you are, Thomas. He takes his disciples way out of their comfort zone to visit a woman in Samaria no one else wanted to be with. He infuriated the religious by going to Jericho just to see Zacchaeus. You see, Jesus relates to us differently to our worldview. He doesn't see us as we are. He sees us as he created us to be. He accepts us as we are so we can come to him, but he doesn't leave us as we are. Do you remember when Peter lends his boat to Jesus and there's that miraculous catch of fish, and then Peter says, go away from me, Lord. I'm a sinful man. The likes of you shouldn't hang around the likes of me. How did Jesus respond? Follow me and I will make you. You're Simon, a reed, but I'll make you Peter, a rock. It's interesting to note when Jesus used those 2 names. Like in the Last Supper, Peter was sure he was the rock. He's going to die for Jesus. And Jesus says, Simon, Simon, Satan has asked to sift all of you, but I've prayed for you. And when you're converted, strengthen your brothers. In other words, actually, you're still Simon, you're not Peter. But I've prayed for you, and you will be Peter. I used to think God's feelings about me varied from, mild disappointment if I had a good day, to disgust if I had a bad one. But it's not the God of the Bible. In fact, I knew I knew some of the words of Psalm 139. Lord, you have searched me thoroughly and you know me. You know all about me, my entire life. In fact, before I say a word, you know that word. And that's what used to bother me. But David continues, you hem me in behind and before, and you lay your hand on me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. I can't take it in. See, he had learned that Jesus was the good shepherd. And we know this good shepherd has a flock in which every single sheep has gone its own way. Each of us, Isaiah says, have gone our own way. But the Lord scooped up all that we've messed up. Jesus absorbed all of it into himself on the cross and offers us his life and his freedom as our master and our friend. James reminded us on Sunday at the Burragoon campus of the beautiful prayer of St. Patrick. Christ with me, Christ before me, Christ behind me, Christ in me, Christ beneath me, Christ above me, Christ on my right hand, Christ on my left, and he is. But let me conclude with something that's much more contemporary. When we were publicising the silent retreats we have at New Norcia each year, our last retreat, Rod told the story of his first retreat, looking at himself in a mirror and saying, I don't even know who you are. But as soon as that thought occurred, he heard, well, I know who you are. You're a child of God. You're a child of mine. And you are too. And I pray you'll sense his presence. You'll hear his voice. You'll discover the Lord who never, never, never leaves you. God bless.